Brothers y brothercitas, Trump manda a la artillería pesada a su mano derecha al Medio Oriente para reafirmar, para confirmar, para asegurarse que el tratado con Irán va a hacer lo que Trump y lo que Estados Unidos necesita. Mandó a Marco Rubio, brothers, que pues, ustedes saben, el mero mero, mi mero gallo, el que quiero que sea el siguiente presidente de Estados Unidos, brothers. Lo mandó para poner en claro las cosas con los iraníes y salió a dar unas declaraciones acerca del tratado justamente con Irán. Chequen.
What about the conventional capabilities that Iran is going to be able to retain? Did you make any assurances about a cap on missile or drone capabilities that Iran will have?
We're going to be completely aligned with our partners in the Gulf. That's why we're meeting with all of them tomorrow. That's why I've taken these trips now. And it's the reason why I'm here. Apart from thanking them for the incredible support they gave us throughout this process, we want them to know and we want to reiterate and begin to talk to them and engage them on conversations about every decision that's made with regards to this negotiation. We're not going to do anything that undermines the security of our allies, our long-standing allies in the region. So I think that's something that our partners believe when we say, because we're doing it, and we're going to continue to do it, and we're doing it with them now.
As you said, you're meeting with the GCC tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any concerns at all that the GCC are planning to meet with Oman and Iran to discuss this new quote-unquote mechanism that the Iranians have floated?
No, I think they'll be against it. I think the whole world will be against any mechanism that charges money to use an international waterway. It's that simple. The president's already said it. That's not going to happen. When we mean open the straits, we mean open the straits free in international waterways. So we'll express that tomorrow. I am certain that not only will every country in the Gulf region be supportive, probably with the exception of Iran, but all the GCC members will be supportive, but the whole world will be supportive. I know.
Brothers, okay, lo está reafirmando Marco Rubio, no van a estar cobrando tarifas los iraníes en el estrecho de Hormuz para nada, eso está prohibido, no lo van a aceptar, lo está confirmando Marco Rubio.
These are long-standing relationships with these countries, so we speak very frankly, very openly, very honestly. We get their input, and that's what we're here to do, to get their input. They're our partners. I'm not here to tell them. I'm here to hear as well. And so I thought they were very frank, honest, and important conversations. I think we're very strongly aligned.
The U.S. waived oil sanctions against Iran on Monday. Are you concerned
for 60 days?
Are you concerned that Iran is going to use the extra income from that to fund proxy groups or...
Es importante porque aquí están diciendo y está poniendo en claro Marco Rubio que por 60 días las sanciones que tiene Irán cuando vende petróleo, que le congelan dinero a Irán, se lo quitan y se lo congelan los bancos internacionales, por 60 días no van a tener sanciones. Es muchísimo dinero el que le estarían dando a Irán. Son alrededor, esto equivale justamente a los 300 billones de dólares que le van a dar a Irán.
Obviously, anytime you enter into a negotiation, it's a process of give and take. This is a temporary measure. It's for 60 days. And as a result, we expect them to live up to the commitments they made in Switzerland. If they don't live up to those commitments, the president has a lot of options at his disposal, including, I'm not saying he's going to do it, I'm saying including reversing these sanctions. They've made very straight up commitments in Switzerland, and the president has been very clear they need to keep those commitments. If they do, we'll keep forward. If not, the president will have options at his disposal for what to do about it. Let's hope they keep those commitments.
With oil price dropping and diplomacy advancing, is the administration dropping the idea of issuing new waivers for Russian oil?
Potentially. I mean, that's a decision the president will have to make as we get closer to the expiration date. But that was, as I said, that was temporary. That was designed to help stabilize the global market. I'm not going to get ahead of the president on making announcements with regard to what will happen with that waiver once it expires. But obviously that'll be an option he has available to him because if oil prices are now dropping, I think they opened today lower than they were before the conflict. So if that trend continues, obviously the president will have to take that into account when making that decision.
Israel-Lebanon talks. Israel signaled that it's reluctant to withdraw its forces back 10 kilometers from the buffer zone. Is that something that you would support as these talks go on in Washington?
No,
Israel withdrawing from some zones in southern Lebanon?
Well, the only reason Israel's in Lebanon is because Hezbollah launches rockets and drones from there. They've made that clear, and the talks continue today. They started yesterday. They'll go on today. They'll go on tomorrow, and that's exactly what they're talking to the Lebanese about with our mediation, and that is our hope that the Lebanese armed forces and the legitimate sovereign Lebanese government will continue to be able to control and secure more and more of their own territory, because that's who needs to control Lebanese territory, not a terrorist group like Hezbollah. So that's the goal, and I think the Israelis have been clear. They don't have any quarrels with the Lebanese people. They don't have any claims on the territory of Lebanon. The reason why they're involved there is because territory of Lebanon is being used to launch drones and missiles against Israel. But the more of that area the Lebanese armed forces is able to secure, the less of it's in Hezbollah's control, the less Israel will be in Lebanon. But obviously that's the process we're working through right now with these talks. That's at the core of these talks.
Is it your assessment that the Lebanese armed forces today, as it stands, are capable enough, trustworthy enough to actually...
Well, that's what we have to do. Look, we have to build up that capacity. That's been a long-standing challenge. I think the willingness is there. I think we need to help build up that capacity. And one of the issues that's been discussed in these negotiations is about the creation of pilot zones, specific defined areas where the Lebanese armed forces can go in, take control and secure that territory, and then move on to the next pilot zone. So it'll be a process. This is not going to happen overnight. I remind everybody that Israel was conducting operations in southern Lebanon well before this operation happened. And this is something we all want to see resolved for the future of Lebanon. We want to see a Lebanon that's in the control of their legitimate government, where there is no foreign government encroaching on their territory. And I want to reiterate that the Israelis have told us, and that is the only reason why they're there is because Hezbollah is launching against their people. If Hezbollah wasn't launching against them, they wouldn't be there.
So how soon should nuclear inspectors be allowed into Iran?
As soon as possible, and the president said that yesterday. They'll be there when they need to get there, but that needs to happen. That's a commitment they made, and it's one they need to keep.
Eso es importante, que van a permitirle entrar a inspectores a revisar que Irán esté cumpliendo con lo que promete y aparte que no se enriquezcan en uranio, que no estén tratando de fabricar armas nucleares así escondidas y cosas de esas.
No, what the president stated is very clear. We expect them to keep they want to get into a negotiation, we'll do a negotiation. If they make commitments at the negotiation, they need to keep them. If they don't keep them, the president has multiple options at his disposal. That includes sanctions and includes other things. So I think the president's been cleared. If we're going to get a deal, it has to be a real deal and it has to be a good deal. If Iran wants to make a good and real deal, the United States is open to that. If they're not, then of course the president has options. We want this to work out. We hope it works out. But if it doesn't, the president knows what his options are, and I'm not, that's all I'll say about it for right now.
Pakistan just announced next phase of Iran talks for next week.
I think the technical group will be back, I believe, on the 29th or the 30th. They've broken up into work groups on various subjects. I believe they're going back to Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, the technical group will reconvene again on, I believe it's the 30th. Don't exactly quote me, but they've broken up the negotiation into separate work streams on separate topics, and the technical group will return on the 30th next week to continue those talks.
This regime is more reasonable than the one that preceded it. Are they easier to deal with, and are they unified now? Are they providing unified?
Well, I'm not going to comment on their internal structures and whether they're unified or not unified, because it doesn't matter. What matters is what they do or they don't do. They either do the things they claim and agreed to do, or they don't. And if they do it, then great, we'll keep moving forward. And if they don't, the president's been clear about what's going to happen and what could happen. But let's hope they do. Let's hope they mean it.
Es muy claro, brothers, y ahí, ahí lo voy a dejar porque pues, están preguntándole lo mismo. Muy claro, si Irán cumple con lo que ha prometido, el presidente va a estar feliz, todo padre, por 60 días tienen 300 billones con B de dólares, que no sé cómo me siento al respecto a eso, pero si cumplen, tienen eso, no pueden enriquecer uranio, no pueden tener armamento nuclear, tienen que dejar inspectores entrar a Irán, no pueden cobrar nada de dinero para que el tráfico de buques pase por el estrecho de Hormuz. Si todo eso sigue en pie, Estados Unidos no tiene problemas. Irán rompe uno o dos acuerdos, Trump suspende las sanciones, les vuelve a poner sanciones, no reciben dinero, regresamos a todo lo que está pasando y pues ahí será un cuento de nunca acabar, pero ojalá Irán, brothers, cumpla con lo que está prometiendo, que obviamente lo dudo, pero vamos a ver qué pasa. Mientras la gasolina sigue bajando y mientras la gasolina esté bajita, a mí me vale cacahuates, literalmente en Medio Oriente. Mientras la gasolina esté abajo y la economía aquí se empieza a mejorar, todo está bien. Díganme qué piensan, los leo, compartan, suscríbanse. Los amo, brothers. ¡Mua!